Are you looking for peace of mind at your doorstep? Look no further. With the Blink Video Doorbell, your home's entrance is always within your control. Check out the link in the video description to learn more and get your Blink Video Doorbell on Amazon. Your home is in your hands.
Sir Keir Starmer has sent a strong message against evil Vladimir Putin as he reached the US for his first NATO summit. The newly elected British Prime Minister is all set to meet Joe Biden and other European leaders in a bid to strengthen the alliance in an increasingly hostile world. While on his way to the States, Sir Keir quipped that the defense and security of Britain as well as its allies would remain his top priority. The Labour leader, who took over Downing Street on Friday, said he believes that NATO countries will lock in a Trump-proof military aid to Ukraine to fuel its war efforts against tyrant Putin. He told journalists, on the question of how we show that commitment here at this summit given there is going to be an election in America later this year, I think it's very important at this summit, and I think there is a real opportunity for real unity. It's the largest group of NATO countries together with the additions that we've got, and the package that we are seeking to advance. It goes beyond the support that's been put in before and will be locked in, I hope, at this NATO conference. Sir Keir will now look into sealing a deal with NATO allies to support Ukraine as much as they can, before Trump becomes the next US president. Trump, who thinks NATO has become obsolete, could drastically cut down US aid to Ukraine. There is also a chance Trump could pull the US out of the military alliance, leaving Europe in a hostile situation against evil Putin. Sir Keir also issued a strong warning to Russia after the appalling blitz on Children's Cancer Hospital that killed at least 41 people. He said, "My message is very, very clear. This NATO summit is an opportunity for allies to stand together, to strengthen their resolve, particularly in light of that appalling attack against Russian aggression." In the US, Sir Keir will tell the 75th anniversary NATO meeting that he is determined to face down our adversaries. The PM is set to say at the summit, his first overseas trip in office, that stepping up spending will safeguard the alliance. Sir Keir said, "There is no more important duty for me as Prime Minister than keeping the people of our country safe. At a time when we face multiple threats at home and abroad, we must make sure we are ready to defend ourselves. That's why I have immediately ordered a root and branch review that will secure Britain's defenses for the future. Working with our most important partners around the world, our strategic defense review will make sure the UK is sending a clear message to those who seek to undermine peace and democracy. You will not succeed." The PM will make clear to fellow leaders that he is determined to make sure the UK is a leading defense player on the world stage, highlighting that Western allies will triumph over tyranny. Keir's statements came as he was asked if the NATO allies could Trump-proof any deal to support Ukraine. A dark shadow now looms over NATO as Donald Trump's chances of returning as the US president are more likely than ever, especially after Joe Biden's dire performance in the recent presidential debate. And chances are Trump could severely cut defense aid to Ukraine and pull out his support from NATO. The weakening of NATO is one of Putin's greatest desires as the beastly union of the US, Europe and Canada has deterred Soviet and Russian aggression for 7 decades. Colonel Hamish de Breton-Gordon told our channel that the US ditching its NATO allies would be the worst possible case scenario and would embolden Vladimir Putin to push into Europe. He said, "Without the US, NATO is very much weakened, though the arrival of Finland and Sweden is a little compensation. But the message it would send to Putin is dreadful and would embolden Putin to push harder in Ukraine and ultimately Europe. At least the UK and France still have the nuclear deterrent, which will give Putin something to think about. If this scenario looks likely, the UK and other European NATO countries need to rearm at pace, and I expect to be prepared to commit boots on the ground in Ukraine to stop Russian advances westwards." By Harry Cole in Odessa. Putin must be in no doubt. Britain under Labour will still be Ukraine's firmest friend, the new defense secretary has declared. John Healey embraced hero President Volodymyr Zelensky in war-torn odes.